This person here asks, hey Tom, what's your opinion on Governor Spanberger of Virginia, the one who recently won, pushing a pro-green agenda by pushing a new tax on gas-powered lawnmowers, leaf blowers, and weed eaters? And he went on to say, as a former landscaper, I'm kind of curious as to what your thoughts are. What he's talking about is this. Virginia's return to regional greenhouse gas initiative picks up steam. Virginia's government is nearing completion of a years-long 360. The Commonwealth will rejoin the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative less than 3 years after leaving through amendments Governor Abigail Spanberger signed to the state budget. The new language requires the State Department of Environmental Quality to file regulations within 90 days that will return Virginia to RGGI, the Multi-State Emissions Pact. That 90-day clock started ticking February 20th. RGGI has been a hot topic since former Governor Ralph Northam was in office. The initiative functions by selling a limited number of carbon allowances to power producers and other parties. Over time, the pool of allowances shrinks, increasing their cost and, in theory, encouraging producers to switch to cheaper renewables. Republicans have long criticized the program, with former Governor Glenn Youngkin calling it a regressive tax levied through electricity bills. Currently, they use Democrats' support of the measure as a sign that they are not as serious about affordability as they let on. That is a tax on Virginians. Tax every time they pay their energy bill. State Senator Ryan McDougal, Republican of Hanover, said during a press conference last week. Virginia was a full member from 2021 to 2023 when the Youngkin administration left the program. That act has since been ruled illegal. Over 12 quarterly auctions, the state brought in $827.7 million, according to the RGGI Incorporated records. That total comes from proceeds of carbon allowances purchased by Dominion Energy, independent power producers, and others. In Dominion's case, the cost of their allowances were directly covered by bill riders. Additionally, costs tacked onto customer bills as approved by state regulators. When Virginia left RGGI, Dominion stopped charging that rider, saving typical residential customers, though using 1,000 kilowatt hours per month, an estimated $4.43 each month. While it was being charged, that covered ongoing costs to participate in the program, as well as some earlier deferred costs. Dominion temporarily stopped charging the rider while Virginia was still a member. The proceeds were split between two major state programs, which Democrats want to reinvigorate. One program lowers bills of individual Virginians by funding deferred weatherization work. Improved appliances and insulation can greatly reduce monthly electric bills. So that's what that person is talking about. It's not actually a direct tax on these landscapers, but it is sort of an indirect tax. And he wants to know what I think about it, being a former landscaper. I have zero problem with it. Let me tell you about a company here in the Chicagoland area by the name of Seabbert Landscaping, one of the largest companies in the Chicagoland area for landscaping and an innovator in the green space. Years and years and years ago, they decided that they were going to try and be on the cutting edge of going green in landscaping. They converted their lawnmowers from gasoline to propane. And back in the day, I remember being in one of these trailers at a neighboring job site and seeing this. This was years and years and years ago. I don't know how he's doing it now, but what they did was they lined the roof of their enclosed landscape trailer. You see a truck pulling an enclosed trailer with the landscape name on it. It has a ramp door. It's filled with lawn maintenance equipment. They would line the roof of that with solar panels and run conduit down the middle of the front nose of the trailer. And they had various shelves put in where they had charging banks, because they converted their small equipment like string trimmers and backpack blowers and hedge trimmers and things like that to electric. And so while they were mowing the lawn or while they were driving from one site to another, their power banks were getting charged up from the solar panels, and they didn't need to buy gas for those pieces of equipment anymore. They stopped needing to buy gas for their lawnmowers because they switched to propane. And then he started buying V trucks. Now, once again, this was 20, 30 years ago, whatever it was. He started buying V trucks that had little generators inside that ran the engine and sipped the gasoline, which caused his work trucks to go from whatever it was they were getting, 20s, 30s, maybe even, if you're lucky, 40s as far as miles per gallon, to getting well over 100 miles a gallon. So now his maintenance crews are out, or back then, his maintenance crews were out running all week long, and they might have to stop at the gas station one time to fill the truck only. It's cleaner for the environment. The equipment works just as well. They are now making commercial grade equipment that is electric that works just as well, and it saved them a shit ton of money on gas. Why would I be opposed to anything like that? By the way, I found it interesting that Michael Tran replied to you. He'll never reply, especially since I've replied to several of his comments over time, and then you saying probably not. What say ye now? I love how you fucking people come into the comment section and go, oh, he'll never reply to that. And then I end up replying to it, and then I hear fucking crickets out of you people in response.